It's the Cares for Kids Radiothon 24th anniversary. Amy K. 0Y94. Joining us, Mary Wennis with your daughter, Mara. Can you just tell us about your story at Sanford and what was happening?
Yeah, well, we were at Sanford for about 12 days in the PICU in 2022, but we have to rewind a little bit to when she was born because that's really where the story starts. So she was born with a fetal maternal hemorrhage where she had lost a lot of blood. About a third of her blood was lost. And we spent 16 days in the NICU at Children's in Minneapolis when we lived down there. Followed up, did great. Left with no big medical concerns, followed up with a bunch of specialists, and felt good to leave the Minneapolis area and move back to Fargo-Moorhead because we didn't need specialty care. And one of my big fears as a parent was needing specialty care ever again because having a kid in the hospital is pretty scary. Never wanted to do that ever again. And so fast forward to January 2022, Mara gets Bell's palsy around the time that some other famous person had gotten Bell's palsy.
Okay.
And she got it a second time, and it's a facial paralysis. And took her to the Sanford clinic here in Fargo, met with a bunch of specialists. Our pediatrician, Dr. Hansen, was super curious. This is odd. This just does not happen to a kid her age. This happens to older people, and couldn't figure out why. So we got to meet with all the pediatric specialists in the Sanford system to try and figure out. Nobody could figure out what it was. She got put on steroids as a treatment. So I'm potty training a 3-year-old on steroids.
That's what you want. Yeah,
that's I was like, oh, we're going to put a hard stop on potty training because that's not cool. And we noticed her urine was pink. We're like, that's not right.
Yeah.
Take her into urgent care. They did some blood work, did some lab work, said, go home. We'll call you. I'm thinking it's a UTI. Give me some antibiotics. We're good. Then about 10 minutes of getting home, the urgent care called and said, her lab work doesn't look good. We don't think her kidneys are functioning. Can you bring her in 15, 20 minutes? I'm like,
what are you thinking at that moment? What do you even think?
Here we go again.
Uh-huh.
Right? Our biggest fear has come true that we have to be back in the hospital again. Get her into the hospital. Still can't figure it out. Thank goodness we had seen so many specialists because they ruled out all kinds of stuff. And it crescendoed to she was having seizures that kind of stacked up on top of each other to the point where they're worried about brain damage. I'm like, great, here we go again. We just got the clearance, said she doesn't have brain damage, and now we're doing this again. And it was about 2 a.m, and Dr. Majed, our nephrologist, our kidney doctor, the kidney doctor for kids in Fargo-Moorhead, shows up, and I'm like, oh, that's not good. When a specialist shows up at 2 a.m, that you don't want to see them, but we were so grateful that she was able to come in and having a conversation with her while Mara was having seizures. She was talking to us, and the light bulb went on. And she went, I know what it is, high blood pressure, because high blood pressure can cause facial paralysis. And it's all the pieces started to kind of come together, and we thought, she did have to have her kidneys kind of jump-started when she was in the NICU when she was born. But we hadn't had any issues since. We had 3 years of no medical issues, no ear infection. So it was a big shock that we ended up in the hospital again. And she figured out that her kidneys aren't working right. And your kidneys control your blood pressure. And your blood pressure is high, your kidneys get destroyed. So in about 3 years, she's gone through a large majority of her lifespan of her kidney functioning. So we're sitting here now with chronic kidney disease, severe hypertension, medication that 80-year-olds are on. She looks normal. She looks healthy, but if she was not highly medicated and closely managed and monitored by specialists, it would be a different story.
So you guys have this situation where, you have this ongoing mystery. You got to be staring at a person. You got to be staring at a provider as they had that realization, that moment where this mystery you guys have been dealing with, she was convinced she solved it. What is that like as a mom to be like, this just got figured out right in front of my eyes?
Once we pieced it together, I went, this makes sense because we got out of her first NICU experience with no medication, no really medical follow-up, to then this is what should have happened when she was born. This was the severe, scary medical stuff that we thought was going to happen that didn't. And now here we are, and we have wonderful providers. We're so lucky to live where we do and to have Sanford. And they all the doctors work so closely to try and figure this out. And the care she got while she was in the hospital it's scary because with her chronic illness, we don't know when her kidneys are going to be done. She'll eventually need dialysis. If we're lucky, we can skip dialysis and go straight to a transplant. Yay, we get to skip to an organ transplant.
Yeah.
That's scary stuff. And so part of us wanting to be a part of this today is to give back because we know that we've received really good care. We're a past patient. We have ongoing care. We actually get to go see Dr. Majed today to find out her kidney functioning. So we are a current patient benefiting. And for people who are considering donating, we are the future patient because we are going to be in intensive care in 5 to 10 years when she has to be hospitalized for a transplant. And that's scary stuff. But the hospital stay was made easier because we had...
You can throw it away in there.
She's here with us.
Gosh,
They had games that she could play. Like I remember her grandpa coming in and playing Candyland with her. And to have a sick kid, it was healing for, I think, my family to see her playing and having fun and being a 3-year-old again. But it was healing for me, too, because I forgot, like, how she actually is supposed to be. And so to have kids are supposed to play. Kids are supposed to have fun. And when they're sick, it's the worst.
Well, knowing that you have, Mary, I mean, many, many years yet of going into Sanford Children's Hospital, living in Moorhead, what does it mean to have that 15 minutes away from your house?
Oh, there were times we were going and getting lab work done every 7 to 10 days at the beginning, trying to adjust her medications. And if we would have had to be driving to Sioux Falls or Minneapolis, that just wouldn't, and I was 6 months pregnant at the time that she had her medical crisis. So it would have been awful.
Not road tripping 6 months pregnant if you can help it, I'm sure.
No.
Yeah. So for people that are on the fence and they're like, I drive past it, I go to Costco, I know it's a beautiful hospital, they don't need me. What would you say to people that have yet to kind of join the Radiothon family and put in their 66 cents a day?
Being close to home allowed her brother to come in and visit. And we didn't see Mara smile for a good week while we were in the hospital. Her brother shows up to visit and she smiles. And he's in school. We wouldn't have pulled him out of school if we were having to be in Minneapolis. And so we didn't know how much she needed to see him. And we didn't realize how much he needed to see her because this chronic illness affects the whole family. This is the second time he's seen her be in the hospital, and he was terrified. So he needed to see with his own eyes that she was okay. So having care close to home is so important. She had access to a life specialist, child life specialist, who brought these cute little stuffies that's we got to take home and let her siblings color and send back so she could have a little Addison and a little Nolan with her while she was away and to give her comfort. So donations can help bring comfort, can bring healing. Let kids be kids because kids need to play. Like developmentally, they need to do that. And so there were gifts that we got at Sanford during this really scary time.
Well, and for people that hear kids and children, and I don't know if it registers. I mean, she's here next to you, and she's got her crown on, and she's got her angel wings on, and she's got her sticker book, and she's got her 2 stuffies, and these are kids, and they're going through some very adult problems. I mean, as you described it, these are old people problems.
They are. She's on a low sodium diet. She has to eat like all the heart healthy stuff that grandmas and grandpas eat. She has to go get lab work done. She gets stuck more than anybody. She's had 3 blood transfusions. I couldn't even tell you how many MRIs, CT scans. I don't know because it's been a lot. And so having good care close to home is one less stressor for us.
Well, Mary, we can't appreciate any more than you guys coming in here. Just thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
701-478-KIDS, 5437. For kids like Mara, you donate right now. You can also text KIDS to 35270.
Kids for Kids Radiothon. Help us, help the kids. Here's a number to call. To make a 20 by 12 donation, call 478-KIDS.
That's 478-5437.
Or toll free to 1-877-478-KIDS on the 702 Cares for Kids line. Please call in your pledge right now. Together we can help the kids. Thank you.
Thanks for making miracles happen.
Thanks for listening to the Cares for Kids Radiothon on Y94.
Thank you.